Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you the easiest way to wrap up a motorcycle exhaust. I'm going to be using my Yamaha Bolt XVS950, which has two headers and links into one exhaust. And I'm going to show you guys the easiest way and most efficient way to do it, alright? But what I'm going to show you first is a couple of things that you guys are going to need. Okay, first thing you're going to need, alright, and this is only for this bike specifically, is a 4mm hex head. Okay, you could use an Allen key as well. Let me try and get this in focus if I can. All right, that 4mm hex head there. I've got an automatic ratchet, so mine just spins because I'm lazy, and it's just a little bit more efficient that way. We need some stainless steel cable ties. I just bought these from Bunnings. They cost $5. Exhaust wrap. Okay, so this is the actual wrap that's going on the exhaust itself. I have purchased the, as you can see there, 25 foot by 2 inch. Okay, you will need a pair of gloves and a bucket to get started. Okay, so this is my bike. This is my first ever purchase of a motorcycle. I've always wanted one as a motorcycle as a kid, so I decided to get the Yamaha Bolt 950. It's a beautiful piece of machinery. The one thing with the 950 is these exhaust covers need to come off so that we could wrap the exhaust. There is one here, as you can see there. There is one there, all right, as you can see there, and then the last cover is going to be at the bottom. Now, the good thing about this wrap is the way that we're going to do it, we're not going to have to take the exhaust off. It's going to remain on the bike, and we're going to actually do it on the bike, which makes things a lot easier. This is probably the third time I've wrapped up a set of exhaust wraps, and the second time I've done it with the exhaust actually on the bike, and it was probably the easiest and the cleanest way I've ever done it before. All right, first step we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to make sure we dunk our exhaust strap into our bucket. So that's all. I've got a bucket here full of water, and we're just literally going to dunk the whole exhaust strap into there. Also put on a hoodie because this exhaust strap is actually made out of fiberglass and it gets super itchy if you're using it on dry skin. So I just like to cover up when I do it. So exhaust strap going straight in, and literally gonna let it sit there for about 20-25 minutes. Just gonna remove the covers off here. So 3 bolts here, another 3 here, and then 2 over there. Because I've got an easy ratchet, it should come off pretty quick. But there's nothing wrong with using an Allen key or just a manual ratchet as well. Okay, so I've removed all of the covers off the exhaust, which not every bike is going to have, but the Yamaha Bolt has 3 covers. It has one here, and one there. I've just removed those and we're about to start our wrap. Okay, so first thing you want to do when you start your wrap, you want to put your initial sleeve in first and just get a little cable tie. Okay, so this is going to help keep it in position, so as you wrap around, the whole thing doesn't slide around everywhere. So what I'll do is I'll start with the bottom, okay, and I want to work in this direction so that it will stay nice and tight. So I'll start at the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll feed it in, okay, and then pull back and then go over. So as we go over there, I'm going to make sure that I keep pressure on the bottom part of the wrap and then feed the rest of it through. So I've unraveled the whole wrap and I'm actually feeding through section by section, and it's just going to come and happen one at a time, one wrap at a time. But we're going to be nice and neat, nice and tidy with it. This does take a little bit of patience, but if you do it like this, it's a lot faster and a lot easier than doing it as opposed to taking the exhaust off, which I've done in the past before. The problem with taking the exhaust off is it's got nothing stable to hold on to. So some people like to mount it to a wall or something like that. But because this is on the motorbike anyways, it's already mounted. So after I do my first one, I'm going to take my cable tie. Now this is going to be a temporary fix to the exhaust because this cable tie is not rated for the heat that the exhaust will make, so it will probably melt. But this is only going to be done until we complete our exhaust wrap. So I'm going to bring this in so you guys can see. As you can see, we've done our first wrap, which is there. done our first wrap, which is there, and then this cable tie is just going to keep it in position, and we're going to try and do it as tight as we can, just so it doesn't move while we're completing the rest of our wrap. Now I'm usually a lot better at doing these cable ties, but it's been a while. Okay, so cable tie that and tighten that crap out of that. All right, so that's going to hold that down while we could freely work the rest of the wrap now, and that's just one less headache for us. Okay, so while we're in this in tight sort of position here, I'm just going to use this angle to show you how we work it. Okay, so some of these positions here are going to be super tight, so instead of running the exhaust wrap through these tighter positions, we just work our way up here and then run the exhaust wrap through there, and then when we tighten it, we'll tighten it down close to the next the last line. Now like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's a lot easier than removing the whole exhaust and doing it that way. If it does get stuck, just make sure you untangle it and try and keep it as tidy as possible. Okay, so now one thing that I've noticed with these exhaust wraps, when you do wrap them, the distance between the last wrap and the next one, the more you could keep that the same, the nicer it looks. So you want to try and always make sure you measure out. You have something like, I use the point of my finger to the first line, and I use that line as a way of saying, okay, well that's where they're all going to sit, so it looks nice and uniform. I've noticed, I've done a few of these exhaust wraps now, I've noticed the more even you could keep them, the nicer they look, and the less even you keep them, the more sort of disorganized, and it just doesn't look like a professional job. Now, by all means, I'm not a professional, okay, so this is only my third time doing this, but I am getting a little bit better every single time I do it, and I'm noticing small things like that which help me get better at the craft of installing exhaust wraps. And yeah, just small things like that help me make things look nice and tidy. So throughout this video, I might be speeding up the process. I might speed up the video just so you could see it's more of the same pretty much, but you just go bit by bit. I use my finger, I check that, make sure we're covered there. All right. And we're working nice and tidy. Now it's all just about getting one line at a time. As you do more of the wrap, it gets a lot easier because there's less and less to pull through. But at the start it gets pretty tedious because you have to pull everything across every single time. Alright, so in this section here, if you guys want to keep those mounts on your exhaust, so the covers, what you'll do is you'll actually wrap around this, which basically means, I'll show you over here. Okay, so these two mounting points here, you wrap around them. Put in focus. You'll wrap around these just to make sure that you are able to put the covers on and still screw them in. But because I want a nice look without the mounting covers there and open, I'm going to wrap over the top of them, and we'll see how it looks. It might turn out good, it might turn out not so good, but we'll see at the end. Alright, so when we get to this last little section here, guys, this is when we want to start thinking about how do we finish off the wrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, fold it, and then use the set of stainless steel cable ties because they're heat rated, which will actually stay on there, and then I'll do this section as well. Usually I'll do the bottom section over here a lot tidier, but let me just see if I could adjust that. But because this is going to get covered anyways, I don't really care too much about it. But over here you'll see I'm going to try and make it as neat as tidy as I can. So I literally just get a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut this, I'll wrap over and then fold it, and then there goes my cable tie. So it'll be ready to be cable tied off. So I'll give it a bit of extra length just so we could have a bit of movement to play with. And just a set of the small steel cable ties are coming in. So we're going to wrap it over the top here, and then let's have a nice good finish. So far it looks like it's been pretty even because I've been using the finger measure method. Alright, so it looks pretty decent. What I'm going to do, because there's that little bulge here at the end, I'm going to try and get it right up to the end. Alright, and then fold it behind so you don't actually see the fold. It'll be behind the bike, behind the pipe. Now what we want to try and make sure is the end of this cable tie is at the back there, so it's nice and tidy and we don't see it. It is a tad bit short here. Alright, so this is what the wrap looks like the next day, guys. Yesterday I went and took it out for a ride, which I didn't record. But what happens is, as the exhaust wrap is wet, it'll start to steam up and it starts to really smoke. And as you can see here, the color of the exhaust wrap actually changes. It goes from that creamy type of white color into a nice bronze, bronze type of color here. So you can see I've got the stainless steel cable ties on the end there. I ended up doing the other wrap as well, and a couple of stainless steel cable ties there. I'll put the cover on back on the front section here, and this is what it looks like now. So I'll see if I could do a before and after of what the bike looks like. I might just get a photo of a stock image, because I don't think I did take a recording of what the bike looked like beforehand and what it looks like after, but I really like the look of it. But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna be doing plenty of upgrades on this bike, and I'd love to bring you guys along for the journey. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.